to another episode of Study Hall here on TCGU University for the game UniVersus. My name is Tam, and I'm joined by
James,
Travis,
and Michael.
What Study Hall is for the unenrolled is we've taken a bunch of your guys' UniVersus topics as well as some of our own, and we sit down and we discuss them for your amusement, entertainment, and knowledge. So with that said, a little bit of housekeeping before we jump into it. We are sponsored today by Cards Custom Build and TCG University on Patreon, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. And give big shout out to all of our sponsors, Andrew Dang, Yari Melkor, Clay Cardwell, Jay Rogers, Jarrett Hubbold, Jerome Weeks, Justin Farst, Sean Bauman, Tyler Zane, William Stoll, Tracy Cardwell. Hi, Mom. If you want to get a big shout out or support us at all on the show, you can go to patreon.com/TCG University. Subscribe at the $3 tier level, and you'll get the podcast a whole week early. If you don't have any bucks to toss, that's totally chill. Go out to youtube.com a week later, and it'll be up live for everybody else to see.
Yep.
So, how's everybody weeks in UniVersus? How you doing, James?
I've only lost to one deck.
And that is?
With my current deck for the MLPTC, Jeddah.
Okay.
I think you're forgetting you lost 2 decks. I think you're forgetting that I dethroned you on Sunday.
I don't remember that happening because I remember sitting at the top at the end of the day, so it doesn't matter.
And it was free. Anyways.
Is there any way? Was that recorded?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So it's on the tapes.
Good,
Oh,
good,
it's
good.
on the
Do we
tapes.
record it? Do we keep? We probably do. I probably set up to where we do, but I don't remember.
Oh,
I
'cause it's
don't
on Twitch now.
Think
Twitch
so?
Twitch auto keeps it.
Well, Twitch doesn't auto keep it. You have to set it up to
We would
auto
have set it
keep.
at the auto keep.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know if I set up Tam's OBS to auto record as well.
No, you did not.
Solid. We can do that too.
How's your week?
My week was pretty good. I built
Excuse me.
Goro under fire and played it at LWG. Finished 2-1. My only loss was to X playing for first place.
Who's X?
Zhang Hua.
Zhenghua.
Very interesting character who also happens to be a flying potato. But
Man, everybody's so anti-starch today.
It's. I don't think that character's a potato at all. Actually,
Not at all.
I think you have to play your ass off to play that character.
I don't think so.
No?
But
Maybe you're just
you
bad.
so the reason why I don't like that character is because she takes a mechanic that's already in the game and says you get to do it for free.
Twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I'm so sorry that you get +4 damage on all your cards.
Listen, we have a character
Yeah.
who gets to skull barrier things, but he doesn't get to do it for free. So how is X balanced when she also gets to give stun one?
She can't play reversal cards.
That's fine. She just gets to stun you out on your turn.
She can't
for
play
no
reversal
reason.
cards.
Well, they have to be 3 damage, and she
Yeah.
can't play reversals and
Yeah, she gets to play all of these good cards with stun and just play them on your turn and stun you out.
Yeah.
And there's no way to play around it.
Nah, you're totally right.
There
Celestial Being doesn't exist.
Sense of Morals doesn't exist.
Okay, under what, 6 symbols? Cool.
You get Invisible Iron Body.
You get Invincible, not Invisible. He's not.
I did say
he's not a.
I said Invincible.
He's not
Did
a stealthy
I say
Russian.
Invisible?
No, he
Whatever.
definitely did. Hell's Reach. Come on, your turn.
Name one. Name one. Hurry.
Name one?
A card that just
Beats stun.
Fucks up stun.
Azure Nightmare.
Uh-huh. I was playing Azure Nightmare and it didn't do anything.
Well-
I had 2 of them out and still
Oh.
didn't do anything.
Burning with Revenge.
Burning. There you go. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
You have named
Wandering Pirate.
You have named 2 cards under the symbol I was playing, and I was
Initiate
running
launch.
one of them.
Well, I don't. Well, run the other. I totally hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying.
And
That does
even
sound
then, you
frustrating.
have to see the answers. It's just like when we had Coffee Samba
Run
come out.
Axehate.
That's every card game. Like, I
Yeah.
don't know.
Like, if you don't see your answers, you just get shit on. I don't
Well,
think
yeah.
that's healthy design.
But that doesn't make the character potato.
What character were you playing?
I was playing Goro.
So any answer that you could have possibly seen, you could have put in your deck.
Yeah. I
And then
still
you-
have to see them.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and I still die to my
Welcome-
opponent drawing 3 High Seas adventures and saying, you can't play the game.
Welcome to being a four-hander.
It's not. You can't play the game. It's hey, you have to play through these high seas.
Yeah. Which,
It's not that hard.
it's,
It's play attack. You know they're gonna high seas
Yeah.
and go cool. A good thing I picked up this block, so when they play their attack, I go cool. I'll block it.
yeah, because I'm going to block a multiple 3 windmill punch with 3 cards in my hand, and then have them kill me on the
You're
next.
playing what
turn.
symbol?
I was playing fire.
So you could have been playing Chained Gyrogash?
That's hilarious. All right.
Okay.
Michael, how was your week?
I don't even know what that card does.
That
I have a
card's-
stack that says you can block multiple.
That card is
No,
terrible.
That card's prepared to fight, actually.
And that card's
That card's
bad.
prepared to fight.
Okay.
Yeah. It's got a 1 mid block that has a stat that says after you block a multiple, kick the multiples.
Oh.
Yep, not even a response.
Okay.
Just buy.
That card's hella sideboards if you think multiples are an issue.
My week's been great.
Congratulations on second place, though.
I dethroned James finally after
I
like
remember this happening.
3 weeks of Sunday Fun Day and him running train with Goro. So
I
it feels
still
good.
continued to run a train.
Because
You left. You gave up after winning and went, cool, I'm going to go outside. I went, you won. You have to stay. And you went, I don't want it. I was like, doesn't count then. Sweet. Stay in. Still the king.
but yeah, I have Air Torn thrown back together. I'm pretty happy with how it played, at least against Goro. Saw 3 fog blankets every game, so
Was it fun taking a break?
It was broken.
I don't know. I don't know if it's the same for that like Scorpion love for you. You know, like Torn's not my ex. You know?
Yeah.
But we still talk.
That we still talk. fucking Facebook friends and shit. Catch up on other life.
We went and saw a
and
movie together
then,
last week.
I built Evil Throw Shinnok, which was fun, and you'll see that soon, along with 2 different variants of Fire Scorpion. The first one did not work at all. I'm bad at deck building. And then the second one did, in fact, work, and I am good at deck building. And you can see that on the Campus Championship for our Mortal Kombat edition coming out soon.
It got lucky and got a free win because I wasn't playing God of Thunder.
Yeah.
How's your week?
My week's been fine. It's been filled with editing. I've been trying to figure out how to get the campus championships as well as the profiles down to editing at a reasonable hour. And I think what I'm just gonna have to do is give up the profiles. It's either give up the profiles or give up the
What you need to do?
give up one of them in order to give it to somebody else to edit. I probably just have to give it to Tyler and be like, hey, we've set you up the best we can. Of like,
What's
paste.
the issue you're having with it? Just like the time?
I don't
or-
have time. I have not recorded a best damn deck. And I'm
Should
a
probably
week
do that.
late,
Should probably
like
do that.
a whole week late. And so I have to do that tonight and edit it and get it out. And so like I want to try and record like 3 of them, but they're really hard. And the editing is a really long process on that. And I still have profiles to do. But I have all of the Campus Championship for the Mortal Kombat set ready to go. All of the Campus Championship for the
Femme Fatale.
Femme Fatale ready to go. I think I'm missing the Melina profile having it done. I think you've recorded it, but
I
we-
moved all of them onto your computer because we had to clean off the SD.
I saw that we doubled up on all of them, and so I don't know which one is
Which?
the Melina, right? So I have to like actually go through and look, and then the Femme Fatale Campus Championship's done, and we are currently running through our Hidden Heroes Campus Championship.
Yeah.
For all of you, we've said the words Campus Championship 80 times on this podcast already, and basically all it is
Is Hidden Heroes
is
our
our-
next one?
no, Hidden Heroes was the first one.
Oh, okay.
Shitty characters that
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Hey,
Misko.
yep.
Wait, Misko wasn't that one. What did I play for the first one? Oh yeah, Eugene. Yeah.
Yep.
Right, I ran into
Um,
bad matches for both those.
Sure.
decks.
But yeah, they're basically just our matches where we've got a match coming out every day and a profile coming out every day. It's just a bunch of content, and I've done some fiddling with stuff that I want at least you and Tyler and you guys to see too if you want. But it's more the high end back end stuff. Next steps. And I played Jeddah, and I wish I could replay the tape from last week because I was learnt. I was only playing a couple of spirit guns in Jeddah, and I have now gone to a 4 of because that card is great. Thank you, Travis.
Finally, I also told you to play 4.
Thank you, Michael.
We told
Thank
you.
you.
To play 4.
Thank you.
Yeah, monster.
It is super possible for me to be wrong and to learn from that, and I am not so big of a man that I cannot admit that when I am wrong.
Insert the damnation meme right here.
Well, that card's still trash. But
Yeah. And I'm glad you learned how to play against Rando, because
yeah, I mean, and it was like
I could tell that was very rough for you.
It
the first
was-
few matches.
frustrating because honestly I just didn't change my game plan at all. I just kept giving you momentum, and I thought getting rid of your ready foundations was just going to be enough. And it's not.
Because
It's just not.
yeah, getting rid of a ready foundation just turns that foundation into +1 to my check for the rest of the turn.
Yeah.
So.
'Cause so like, and honestly, it wasn't even the +1 of the check. I could give a shit about that. It was the last card you played had 7/7,
Yeah.
and I had dealt with everything prior to that, and I'm just like, man, I can't quite deal with this sadistic ways having multiple 2 and the multiples being 13 damage each. So like, I can deal with 2 of these, but this last one kills me.
Yep.
Just short. Like I always felt like I was just short, and then like
And Jed's a
crying.
tall motherfucker.
Crying in the shower, just like trying to figure out like my deck's only lost twice. Why is this not? Why do I suck? And I was like, I lost because I lost.
'Cause you
Yeah,
suck.
I lost. I lost
you
because
suck.
I kept trying to do my cool thing better than he does his cool thing, and I'm not allowed to play at my tempo in that matchup.
Yep.
And that's just, and we've learned
The same
And
way it was like me versus in the Jed matchup for Goro.
You're not allowed to play at your tempo. You have to dirtle a little bit more. Yeah, totally.
Because my deck's supposed to fuck you up turn 2. Because man, I hope you held more blocks than you should have.
So this topic is gonna feel like targeting, and this person gets enough shit as it is. But I genuinely want everybody's opinion with the topic that I want to bring as like the kickstart. Okay,
Okay.
Okay.
Who's getting targeted?
who do you think?
Is it me? Is it Travis?
When you are testing for a big event,
Ah, shit, it's me. No.
James, it's both of us.
when you are
actually.
testing for a big event, like real testing, do you think it is better to stick with a singular deck, or do you think it is better to spread your wings and test as much as you can? I bring this up because I have exclusively played Jeddah for the past month. That's it. That's all I've played. I've played some casual matches for the campus championship whenever the time is called or there has been a body missing. But besides that, I have put zero brain power into making another competitive deck because I know that I cannot make a competitive deck as good as Jeddah right now. Travis, I think you've not only hit double digits of the decks that you have made in the past 2 weeks, but you are almost hitting 24 decks that you have like put together and been like, I could possibly see myself playing this at the Omaha PTC.
Yep.
So my question is, and this, I really want this not to be a shade throwing. I want this to be like a real round table discussion of, I need you to, this is not happening. I need you, there's no way you're pulling out another fruit snack. Are you kidding?
The joke was good. The joke was good.
When you are practicing for a big event, whether it be a very large PTC like the Omaha PTC coming up at the end of the month, or even nationals, what do you believe is the right call? We've heard my side. I want to make a singular deck. I've said Travis's side. I do want Travis to speak first, just because I don't want it to mill and have me say what his side is. Right? I get like a little glimpse.
Yeah.
But like, tell me.
We cracked the window.
Tell me, why do you test this way?
So the reason why I test this way is because of the fact that when I'm confident in my decks that I already have confirmed that I can play, I look at other options because I really try to get inside the head of the other characters that can be played and what else is good, so I can understand what I'm going to be dealing with going into things. And if there's a deck better than what I already have built, I want to explore those options so I don't regret taking the deck that I took.
Okay.
It's just like,
You've played in 2 events total, correct?
yeah.
You've played in the Omaha PTC last year and then Rockford this past season.
Yeah.
Do you have any regret bringing any decks?
I
Played Ringman in the first event
Yeah.
and then Shinnok the second event.
no,
Or,
I-
sorry,
I-
as well.
as well.
The other shitty box stopper.
So I regret bringing Aswell, but not for the reason you probably think. I regret bringing Aswell because the deck was not fine-tuned enough at that point. And it wasn't because I was trying to test other things. It was because of the fact that I just hadn't put enough time into the deck compared to what I have right now. I've put enough time into knowing Selenka and being that character, and also talking to Mark about it because he's obviously more experienced with the character than I am. He won the biggest PTC of the year with it. asterisk, because we might have a bigger one at Omaha. But
We'll
he
see you there.
knows, and I have talked to him about Slinka multiple times, and he likes my list currently, which currently my list is basically his, but playing Tongpu's Assault, because I think that card's really good in her. But other than that, I'm just trying, so like I look at all my options, try to make sure that there isn't anything better, and B, I try to get into the heads of what can be played. So like if there's a character that I don't really know how to play around, I'll build that character just so I can know the matchup from the inside.
Okay. That's fair.
That's basically my entire logic behind it.
My turn now.
Sure. I mean, we could have a conversation. You can either say what you do or like rebuttal to Travis, like not a robot.
So like I'm gonna have a similar opinion on how I do things.
I got you, buddy.
I have a similar opinion on how I do things, like Travis does, but I don't agree with it. I don't think it's the optimal
So
opinion.
you do this thing, but you don't agree that it's the right call.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
it's not at all. I think you should definitely devote yourself to one deck, or you end up taking an Aswell deck that's not ready for a tournament.
And that's like I was sitting over here grinning my fucking head off. Like, you could have taken Aswell, and it could have been prepared if you were like, at this point for the Omaha PTC, we've got what, 3 weeks, 2 weeks?
Something like that.
You should know what the fuck you're playing. You should know, or like by this weekend, it should be locked in. And if you are playing another deck, it is to help another person test against that deck. Like, I want to keep playing games against Rando, so I'd love for you to keep that Rando deck together. I want to keep playing games against Goro, because I actually think that matchup's like actually hard. I have to make sure that I'm on my P's and Q's. Like, I want to keep playing those games, and so you can play a different deck. But if you have something you want to fight against, then I should make that, and you should fight against it, and you should know every combination of cards on how to get out of whatever it is, right? The reason that I test the way that I do when it comes to solo deck testing is I want to put myself at this negative, or find myself accidentally in a hole, right? And I only get to do that by playing 1,000 games. And every 12 games, I'm at a true deficit, and I go, okay, with the tools available to me, how do I get out of this? I can't theory craft that at all.
I just put myself in that situation a lot.
But there's talk of like how to play test.
Yeah.
But like, and we can finish it on the back half. I just don't want to get distracted by this, right? But like, why do you?
I test way differently than you guys test.
Yeah.
I test you guys test on one end of the spectrum, and I'm testing on the other.
We'll talk about it.
Michael, how do you?
What do you think's right? Bunch of decks, one deck.
Well, I had one deck built for the longest time, and personally, I think that's still the right option. To know every instance or outcome for your own deck, knowing all your ratios. If you want to do the number crunching in your head, like for your attacks, your foundations, the chance of you checking this or that. Like I've had Air Torn built since Seventh Cross has been out. And that's like the deck that I've stuck with. But I've messed around with like a couple other projects. Like I've been messing around with Death, but I just want to know how to play against like a Death control deck, and so like that's a reason why I played against it. But I prefer personally to stick to one deck. I just think it has you more prepared for a situation.
I agree. I think if you're like, and we're getting into like the testing talk, and so now this is gonna like organically go wherever it needs to. If you are testing multiple things, we should take in. So the PTC just happened. Jeddah just won. I'm definitely gonna look at that list and compare, right?
Yeah.
But then I get to look at the other 7 characters and be like, is there anything on here? Theory crafting just a little. Is there anything on here that my deck is afraid of? And then look back at the last PTC. Is there anything on this list that my deck is afraid of? And then look forward to Yu Yu Hakusho that we have not had. We've had a singular. Was that PTC legal for you?
Yes.
Yes,
Cheesecake
okay.
Topped, yeah.
There were like
Kuwabara
decks.
got second, if
Okay,
I
cool.
recall
That's what it was.
correctly.
There were like 3 decks.
Kuwabara? Jeddah beat Kuwabara?
Well, yeah, that matchup is abysmal for Kuwabara. It just is. Like the guy who won and was playing Jeddah, he was talking about it on the Discord.
Jeremy Johnston, correct?
Yeah.
Big shout outs.
Yeah, big shout outs to that guy. His deck was very cool.
Did you see it?
I looked at the
Thanks for sending me a link. I appreciate it.
you know, man, you know what? Look for the link yourself. You know what? So his deck was
Mind your
his deck was cool.
Shouts to him and Dory Zoo.
I think that Kuwabara definitely has a really hard time dealing with
D-build?
Jeddah. Yeah, just D-build in general, but like more specifically Jeddah, especially because I think the Kuwabara player was playing water, which doesn't have that many amazing momentum outs under his support, because I think the only like good momentum he has is Spirit Sword Thrust, which has EX2.
Okay.
But other than that, I don't think he has much that he can actually deal with that.
I mean, Kuwabara doesn't necessarily care about that as long as you commit a foundation. Except for except the minus damage is like important, right?
Like, I
So
think
all
it's-
your attacks do
I think
nothing.
if you
Okay,
played
yeah,
Earth,
I'm
you
down.
should.
Yeah.
I think Earth could have beat the Jeddah deck easily.
Just because of launcher and shit.
I don't think the momentum matters. Like, he gets to commit to just turn your character's ability off. Your damage negation doesn't matter. Eventually, he'll get through to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, in my opinion, one of the best decks that should come out of Yu Yu Hakusho is going to be a throw life gain deck that just builds off of Earth with Byakko or Kuwabara, just because or even Johnny, because like we were testing that Johnny deck, and that Johnny deck's just dumb if it gets to play the right cards. Like in Johnny, like the deck I built, you could use Tijuana groceries, give the -3 damage. Oh, okay. This is like a 7 damage attack. Give it -3, it's at 4. Cool. I'll toughest punk, it gets -3. Cool. On the next one, I'll blow this up. Take the 1, add toughest punk back, God of Thunder, ready it. -3, Tijuana, ready, -3 again. And you just eliminate the entire options of attacks.
Yeah, that's hype.
And then Kuwabara does the same thing by just going, cool, I'll just drop that toughest punk. Cool, I'll add this back to hand, drop it again. Cool, I'll toughest punk.
And
like
with the Johnny deck, you get to play the if you get touched by something, gain a life.
Yeah.
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 That was my deck.
And he stacks it really easily too,
Yeah.
because once you have 4 of that card, you are no longer actually taking damage from
I
printed
took
4 or
1
less
damage.
attacks.
Check a 4. Check a 4. Check a 4. Check a 4. I gained 3 off of that actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's rad.
Yeah. Like I think like an actual Earth life gain deck should come out of Yu Yu, and I think Kuwabara, Johnny, and Byakko lead the pack. They have the health. Johnny gets to build exact needs of what he wants. Kuwabara has an automatic debuff. Like it just.
I think
Byakko has the damage to where if you misplay once, he's gonna smack you.
We're
in the face.
gonna jump back on topic, but we will talk about you at the end of the show for sure. When it comes to testing, so we get to look at the PTC results,
Yeah.
right? Has this, like, you don't have to say anything, but have you locked in a deck yet? Have you, like, we're getting our stuff super soon. We're getting double player kits, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, 2 player kits. So we're gonna have every ultra rare for sure.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Like, have you?
I don't know. I think that's like the real issue is I haven't proxied up enough UU stuff to actually play it and test out the decks I wanted to test before we got to this point. Because like I really wanted to test Dejanet under Evil with Suzuku's Ultra Rare, but I didn't get a chance to do that. I had her built without it, and it was fine, but it definitely wasn't as good as it should be with the Suzuku Ultra Rare.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, though, I did get a chance to test Rando. I think that deck's really good. I think it doesn't... There's like one card that it has a really hard time against, and that's Stop. I think Stop is a real issue in that deck. But other than that, I think there's just like not much the deck actually cares about in terms of what it has to deal with.
What?
Nothing.
The only other thing that I like wanted to test was
Rando loses to a bad Street Fighter card. Or actually a decent Street Fighter card.
what card?
Chasing the fight money.
Chasing the fight money. I think that card says non-character, but yeah.
I believe it says destroy your opponent can't play
Not
cards that
character.
modify trait. Oh, that's
We're gonna look it up on the
check.
screen. Yeah.
Chase that money,
But
Tyler.
so you haven't locked anything in yet?
Not currently, but I do have a deck built that is very optimized that I know how to play.
Are you going to nationals?
Me?
Yeah. Is it possible that you just save these ideas for the next event down the road? Like we've come to the apex of time. Like we have 2 weeks. After opponent plays an ability on a non-character card.
Yeah.
It's like
Dang.
we've come to you're out of time. I think you just pulled the trigger on something. You don't have to say it on the podcast, obviously. But I think
So we have, 2 weeks, right?
yeah. And then you
Um,
spend the next 14 days jamming out matches with this deck versus everything that we have built.
I think
Find the ins and outs.
so. I think
Bless
that
you.
the Salinka deck is A, not only good enough, but B, I think I pilot it well enough that I could do it with 1 week, which gives me 7 days to test other things. I don't think I need that much playtime with Salinka. Like, I've played the deck enough. I know her ins and outs. I've watched Mark play the deck enough. I've played his deck enough. Like, I just know.
So that is such a arrogant stance.
I think that's a very greedy response as well.
Yeah, I think
I think you get disappointed at the Omaha PTC.
I think you're just saying that I'm the best. That's all that statement was. Is I'm already good enough. I don't have to practice.
And
I don't have to practice with this specific deck. I don't think I do.
I like your confidence. I do.
Like, there is a singular person that I would be scared to go diversity with in that tournament playing Salinka, and he's not playing Salinka, and that's Mark. There's not a singular other person that could play Salinka that could walk into that room and scare me.
It's not even about that. If this is the biggest tournament of the year, you just knowing the deck isn't enough.
Yeah, it's
Like, you'll have to play well, and I can guarantee in a week you won't be able to do that.
what happens when you accidentally find a bad matchup, right? And you get a bad hand. If you've play tested enough, you get to see these very similar bad hands and like work your way out of it, as opposed to trying to work your way out of it on the spot, which is like
Which is how
the
I play
issue.
this.
I mean, I've seen the bad hands with the deck. Like I said, I've played the deck enough to know what the hands look like and what my hands should look like. Because, like, especially with the new Mulligan rules, even when I do get a bad hand, which is already astronomical, because if I see a bad hand, I just bottom deck it, draw 6 new cards, and it can't be the same hand.
Yeah.
So
Well, it can be, but
it can, but like the odds of it being the exact same hand or something similar are very low. And even if it is, I'm confident enough to play that matchup out even with a bad hand. Because the thing about Salinka and the thing about the way Mark's deck is built, the deck can just sling attacks on turn 1 if it opens bad. And if I get a singular gauge off of those attacks when I open bad, that sets up the rest of the game for me.
Yeah.
So, like, me opening bad is a lot less poor for my game and my decisions than, let's say, you open bad in Jetta. Let's say you open up 6 attacks. You're just done. There's nothing you can do about it.
Sure.
Salinka can actually play out that game because Moon Ritual Dance exists.
sure.
I just feel like that doesn't get you into tops. 1 week is not going to get you into tops. It doesn't make you.
It's more than 1 week of playtime, though. I've
It's
played
not.
the
Playing other decks takes time away from that. The issue isn't knowing the deck. It's being one of the 16 people that are going to make tops.
Okay.
If you don't know your deck well enough,
If we have enough people for top 16.
if you don't know your deck well, if we even get close enough and it's not top 16, it's still top 8, it's even worse.
Yeah.
More players, less numbers.
Right.
Like, getting top 16 is not easy in a bigger tournament.
Okay. But, like,
as easy as it sounds, there are 137 some odd characters, and if there's no diversity, the likelihood of getting in is very small. You have to be the best player, not just playing the best deck.
Okay, so my counterpoint to that is when I went to the Omaha PTC the first time,
Mhm.
I got 12th. Like, I was already doing well. If
Yeah.
we had top 16, or if I had a singular better record of someone that I played against, because I had a bunch of people who were still at bottom tables.
Yeah.
I would have made top 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
I-
I'm confident
Maybe having
enough
more
to do it.
playtime would have got you top 8 as well.
I
The
don't.
numbers aren't there.
The games that
There's
I
no
lost
numbers.
was not due to me making a mistake. The games that I lost, they were not me making a mistake. I can
Maybe it
200
wasn't not making a mistake, but not making a play.
I think like my big overall take, and we'll jump off the topic because I don't want anybody to get like upset. Or actually, I want to talk to Michael. Michael said jack shit this whole thing. Is I'm afraid that your confidence is actually overconfidence. That's what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid that yes, you have done well with this Salinka deck. You've gone to locals and done a good job. You've play tested a little bit here and done a good job, but what is your scoreboard with that deck? What have you lost to? What have you tied to? What's the track record with that deck? Do you feel like it's good? Do you know that it's good? Right?
Yeah.
And feeling good inside of a game doesn't matter. My
Yeah.
deck you said it yourself, like you didn't mess anything up and you still lost. Well, that means that the deck didn't perform well enough, right? And that's what these past month is what has been for me. I've lost to Rando. I've lost to Skullman
Had a few close matches.
and
with me.
Slinka.
and I
We-
lost. Yeah, I lost to a match
yeah.
to Salinka. Yep.
Bunch of close matches.
And
with
I've
me.
played this character for a month,
Yeah.
so I know that I'm X3, having played 20 plus matches, right?
Yeah.
And I have that knowledge because I've dedicated myself to this one deck, which is the whole fucking point of this topic. How do you feel? Like you've said absolutely nothing. We've gone everywhere.
Yeah, I know. It was hard to keep track.
Let's break it down. Testing.
Break it down for us.
Man, this is just rough. I don't know. I don't even know where to. I'm so lost.
Let's talk first about
let's do
should
it.
you hit a singular deck. You said you want to hit a singular deck and test that way.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, like I said earlier, it prepares you for unfortunate circumstances. I think you can acquire matchup knowledge easier that way, of just you playing your one deck and then playing against multiple other decks with it. It gets you familiar with all your ratios, so you know the percentage of checking an attack versus a foundation with 20 cards left in your deck. And you can't make a deck list error if you've played your deck for over a month.
What do you mean?
I mean, like, because
it's extremely hard to make a deck list error when you can name every card in your deck because you've seen it so many times.
and you can name the ratios of those cards.
That's
Like
fair.
if because
like
in
we
my-
couldn't figure out what 5 cards were missing, and I just went these ones, and these ones, and like I'm playing
out of Gora.
Yeah, and I'm playing like 1s and 2-ofs. Like we had to find 1s and 2-ofs. They were all in Tyler's deck, so it was okay.
and like if I have like 20 cards left in my deck, I can like list what those 20 cards are if I've seen everything else and not a random card has been shoved in my momentum.
Yeah.
So I think the familiarity of just playing with one deck and maybe messing around with other stuff for fun is nice. Just being able to like take a break, I think is really important. Because like I bashed my head against the wall a lot with Torn, so
I totally agree.
It was really nice taking a break, and then like playing like a Mimi build and then jumping back down to like a more serious build. I don't know, I just like playing one deck and play testing against a lot of different things. I think that's the most efficient thing. That's just my opinion.
Let us know what you guys think. I would absolutely love to know how you test, especially the people that don't have quite the robust play group that we do. Is online testing like your bread and butter? Do you do more theory crafting? Do you just ask opinions and listen to podcasts? Like
fishbowl.
I'd love fish bowling. I know at one point when I was making Abby's decks for her, I would take and play 2 decks at the same time when I was just not doing anything. So I'd draw up and be like, all right, this person went first, and then hit, and then like I'd make the perfect line and be like, in a perfect world, which deck won?
I've thought about doing that.
It's interesting. I think it's like really fun content to like play open-handed. It's
Man. And he ate mirror matches. You can't already do that.
yeah, kind of. But
funny.
just like playing open-handed and even like talking about it. We did a little bit on a Mortal Kombat Campus Championship where I was just like, "Hey Jeff, what are your opinions on the lines you can take? What do you see?" And then I said what I saw, and it was like, these are the outcomes that I think are going to happen if you have this. Knowing that we did not play open-handed, I had my knowledge, and I was like, if you do this, then this, and or if you do that, then that. It was just really interesting. I think that's like really
yeah.
good testing.
It's just hard to like feel like to implement it because like you still want to play like an honest game.
Yeah. I think one of my favorite things to do testing, honestly, is Two-Headed Giant. I think that's some of the best testing that you can possibly have. Not so like the traditional Two-Headed Giant, right? Is you play 2 decks, right?
Yeah.
But I don't think that's true. I think you have a main head and a backup head, and it would be like me and James versus you two
Playing one deck.
playing one deck, and so we're both playing this deck, and so we draw our hand, and I'll go, I think 1, 2, 3, and he'll go, I agree with that, and then we'll play it, and then I go, I think this is the card that we use first, and he goes, no, this is the card we use first.
Yeah.
And so it's now I get to see his slight variation on the line that he takes, just because this game in particular is so line heavy. It's so line heavy.
It's a grid.
It's a grid. Ooh.
It's a graph.
Ooh, it's a grid.
It's a line graph.
Ooh. Is there anything else we want to talk about when it comes to play testing and / or deck decision prepping? I don't know.
Well, what do you test more towards? How do you test? Do you test more towards the playing everything perfectly route or finding all the options route? Because I think most of the time, like everyone I've played against, I think all of you just play test towards the absolute best possible. And I'm the complete opposite. I put myself in the worst, trashiest situations I could
Do
possibly
you guys understand what he means by that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to take a small break, a small word from our sponsors, and we will jump back into that topic. That's actually really, really interesting. I just want to remind you guys that this episode is brought to you by Cards Custom Build. If you like nerdy costumes or props or other nerd memorabilia, go to Cards Custom Build out on Facebook. You can also find them on Etsy. And I've got a deal for you guys. If you mention the fact that you saw me on the podcast, this is actually my dad. And he said that he'd give any UFS crew, any UFS watchers, $5 off of their order if you come and say that you supported the show. So any of the cool costumes that you've seen, like you see up on screen right now of me as Scorpion or me as Dr. Wily, that was all made as Cards Custom Build. Plus, here's some of his other stuff that he's done. He's an incredible builder, and he takes requests. So the next major, maybe somebody wants to come dress up as a My Hero character. Reach out to Cards Custom Builds out on Facebook or Etsy, and he'd love to get back to you. So with that, back to the show. And we're back. Thank you, Cards Custom Build. Appreciate it. So repeat it because that we were so enthralled by that
Yep, super
commercial.
Super.
I can word it perfectly. Playing optimally versus James playing suboptimally.
Yep. What's the better option for playtesting?
Yikes.
Playing like shit or not playing like shit. One of the two options.
Well, and so like I think it's like super interesting because like people do make mistakes, and you can make mistakes at tournaments, especially with like all the braining that you are
Like
doing
all the
at
big
the
brain
tournament.
plays you try to
Right,
make,
the
all
big
the
brain.
all the like
reads.
reads and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Like
and like
I play heavy into knowing what all those would be.
yeah.
More than everybody else in this play group probably like combined. I make the worst play I could possibly make and see if I can get myself out of that hole.
Yeah. Because, yeah, I mean, like, sometimes you do miss, like, a detrimental enhance or a response.
And it's
or
just because I'm like...
I was supposed to shove that in my momentum, or I'm actually not supposed to keep this as momentum.
Yeah,
And, like,
like,
I
I
should have reviewed this. I
I
can't
purposely
review this.
stop paying attention when we play. Not to, like sandbag versus you guys, but more like sandbag to where I know situations. Like, not to hurt you guys, but more to hurt myself.
So
It's really weird.
Travis, go ahead.
I actually think that makes for really bad testing, James.
For
Like
you guys.
yeah.
When you guys get shit on when I play a bad Goro deck.
Okay.
No response.
So
I beat you the last time we played.
I
You want
think
to go?
I
Yeah,
think
sure.
that
I have to build a deck after this, but then maybe.
you really need to stop doing that, James.
I just think
No,
playing
no, 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 no. Don't be negative.
I
This
think
improv
playing-
improv comedy is all about yes
Okay.
and.
sand.
okay.
Yes,
I think
and.
playing
So,
a deck
give and take.
optimally that is already known how to be played optimally against doesn't matter. You know how to play against a Goro. Goro's gonna say I'm gonna pick up 4 cards and beat down your throat. Like that's what he does. So if I pick up 4 bad cards, you don't know what to play. I was trying to avoid
good. You're
different
good.
bad word choices.
Beat down your throat.
Yep, just. But like if I pick up 4 random cards, you have no clue what I'm about to do, and then I do this random ass thing that just blows your mind. I think that's cooler than just doing the normal Goro thing of, I'll pick up 4 Shokin Grab. I'll pick up a 3 missile launchers, and I just don't think it's. I don't think it's as cool. I don't think it's as good of playtesting because like everyone's gonna do that. You know what to do. They
And-
pick up 4 cards. You know what they're doing.
And in my opinion, I hate sitting across the table from a Goro player that just
Picks up the
picks
same 4
up 3
cards
Swallow Your Souls and then a Dark Chirito, and I actually just lose. Like there's just nothing I can do.
I
in
make
that
my plays
situation.
cool, right?
Like and like not a lot of decks are like geared to play against. Oh, I didn't beat you this turn. All right, next turn I'll pick up 3 Swallow Your Soul again and a Dark Chirito, or
My deck has a
I'll
lot of
splash in
cool
a Coffee
combos.
Samba, or I'll splash in like a missile launcher. Like not a lot of decks are geared to beat that, and so like it's really frustrating to be put in that situation of just like, all right, he's gonna pick up these 3 and then I lose, so I have to win this turn. I can't win this turn. I can't play defense, so I lose. But like at the same time, it's like good. It's like good practice to like know that you'll lose against this line. And like though it is suboptimal for him to like not do that play, like you already know in a world he's gonna do that play, so you can mark that as a loss, and then you can just play the rest of this game out for knowledge, right? And I think that's like something that's also good for testing is if he has game in his discard pile and he chooses not to pick it up, then you can just take that as a loss and then take anything else after that as free information.
Yeah, like
And that's how I see it.
because like if I already have the ability to kill you, and like if the game is already like dragging on, I'll just do it and kill you. That doesn't matter. Like if we're playing like this is like game 3, we've done all the cool shit, and like we're both kind of just done with the match. I'll pick up these 3 and this, blah blah blah, win the game, whatever. But like
Like
if we're
my dad playing me in basketball when I'm 7. Oh man, I'm real tired. It's time to go get supper. I'm going to demolish you now.
Slam dunk.
it's like when me and Michael
Get
played
out my house.
basketball. It's just like we mess around for a little bit. It's like, okay, I'm gonna play for real.
All right. It's 8. I got 8 points. My name's James. Michael, you have 2 points. I'll play series now.
I really want to go home.
And now he'll try.
But like, so like, if I already have that, there's no sense in me picking that up because it doesn't gain me anything and it doesn't gain you anything. You already know that play kills you, or what that play's gonna do. I already know what that play's gonna do. So why not pick up Swallow Your Soul, a Pile Driver, Voices from the Deep, get a cool Coffee Samba, and then try to mix together something like a Mayfield's Assault. Try to pick up cool cards. Like there's like if I'm playing the same thing, it just doesn't gain me anything.
He meant Voice from the Abyss, by the way.
Did I? What? I
You said Voice
Deep.
from the Deep, yeah.
Like it just.
I definitely understand like why you would be upset with suboptimal plays, and I was definitely upset with him for a little bit with suboptimal plays. But after playing against the Goro matchup, like you just if you see 2 Swallow Your Souls and a Dark Chirito and you can't block all that and you can't block all the damage, then you know you're gonna lose anyways. So it's either you can pick up your cards because you know who's gonna flip a foundation to beat you, or you can just take the free knowledge, and I'm fine with free knowledge.
So I don't like it simply because our game is always different. So even if he picks up those said 4 cards, there's no guarantee he's passing all of them. Unless if you physically count out his foundations and he cannot pass them even on his, or cannot fail them even on his worst checks, then sure, that's fine. But if he picks up these 4 cards and he maybe can't pass all of them, there's no reason to have him not make the optimal play and see what happens. Because A, you could check really well, block all these things. B, he could check like shit, and the thing doesn't work out for him, and that's just part of our game. And if you don't play to that line, then you can't consider it to be an optimal play. Because when I look at my deck and I'm
never
trying to
considered
kill
it be an
someone,
optimal play.
Nobody said it was optimal.
okay,
I
well I know,
definitely don't
I
know
know
optimal.
it's suboptimal. I'm saying if you don't play to all of your outs and you're trying to make the optimal play, like I'm not even talking about James here, I'm talking about anyone. If they are trying to play out games and have good testing and they're trying to be the mindset of an optimal play style, then their opponent needs to also play that way, because it really messes with their play style if their opponent does not play optimally, because then they get used to these suboptimal plays and they think that that is the optimal play. Because the lines get blurred when it happens so many times that it becomes the norm.
Was also the thing.
Well, so
Like,
yes and no, because
none of you guys are gonna none of you guys are not gonna realize I picked up the suboptimal play. You guys are all gonna realize it. Well, at least should most of the time. For like Goro, and like for an instance.
I'm just thankful it's not a missile launcher, honestly.
I think that's the good suboptimal play.
Yeah. It's like, man, he's got 8 momentum. Woo.
And he
that's
didn't
unblockable.
and he didn't pick up a momentum out. Oh boy,
I'm
what is he
down.
doing?
Go ahead.
But so I think like hindsight's like 20/20, right? And so like he could think in that situation, okay, he's gonna block my Dark Cheeritos and the Swallow Your Souls don't kill him. So instead of just building more momentum, I can do this play instead, right? And then after the game plays out, then you realize like what was optimal, what wasn't optimal, and then like
That's also a thing.
being on the other side of the table, you know what kills you.
Yeah.
He doesn't know what beats you, right? He doesn't know the four. A Goro player sits there, thinks, I think these 4 cards have you beat.
Yeah.
But he doesn't truly know because he can't see your hand.
Yeah.
Because somebody could be hiding out of your league in your momentum.
Yeah. But like, so especially me myself, when I go into a kill turn and I'm trying to kill someone, I check all my ratios. I look at
He
my
said all
discard
3.
pile and I look at my hand and I count how many attacks I have in versus how many attacks I have out.
Yeah.
So I know the ratio of whether I'm going to check bad, and that comes with also knowing deck numbers, which is something that I think you should know whether you play a deck always or play it a little. Because I think that knowing deck numbers and knowing whether you should check bad versus you should not, which obviously there are situations where you check bad even though you shouldn't, which is
Right.
just part of our game.
Yep.
I think knowing that information is part of having the optimal line. And I think that if we don't play to the outs of the game and people possibly checking bad when they do what should normally kill you, then we're not playing optimally. That's just the way I see it.
And I still think that you can just take it as I lost this game, and this is just extra knowledge on top of that. And I don't think you could take it to as heart as much. And that's just my opinion, playing against James so many times.
Are you dorks ready to get learned?
Sure.
Are you ready for the dean to come in and drop some
Are
knowledge?
you about to say my opinion
sure.
on how
Where
I
is
do
he?
things? Because
He's not wearing any Slifer red.
I think... I'm going to change. I think...
just opens up the fuse box, pulls out a red blazer.
I think it actually depends on what you're trying to test.
Yeah.
Are you testing your deck or are you testing the match?
Are you testing skills?
Right. Are you testing the deck or are you testing the player? When I am testing a deck, I want both players to play as optimally as possible because I want to know if my deck has the card text and numbers to withstand the fight, right? Which is why when we are testing decks, when you are not sure what it is that you want to do with it, I will gladly remind you before you move on, hey, you didn't do that thing, or do you have any more responses, or blah, blah, blah. Like, I want to do that. And when we are testing player to player, I won't say shit. Because I want you to make that honest mistake and then tell you afterwards. And so it really depends on what are we testing. I want you to make the suboptimal play because in a tournament,
I want to win.
in a tournament setting, it is just as likely you pick up those 4 cards as any other 4 cards.
Yeah.
You have just as much choice,
20,
and that is a player-driven decision. And so when I am not testing the deck, I am testing me and my decision-making skills. I am super down for you to fuck up. That is totally fine. If I am trying to
I
figure
fuck up
out,
all the time. Don't worry.
I know you will. You're very reliable at fucking up. If I am trying to test,
A+ from the dean. Yeah.
hey, my deck has a real issue fighting Missile Launcher and Dark Cherry Toe. You slam a Dark Cherry Toe down, and my whole character is turned off. I can't give you momentum because you'll Dark Cherry Toe me. I can't reduce your damage because you had Dark Cherry Toe. Fuck.
And I don't get insane value from blockers.
Right. And so when I am, hey, James, I really want to fight against a Missile Launcher Dark Cherry Toe deck. I want you to fucking kill me. Rock my socks.
Hey, it's hard.
Rock my
It
socks.
really is. My deck's not built to do that.
Right.
It's not a normal Goro
Which
deck,
is which
is why it's harder.
picking up Coffee Samba and picking up Missile Launcher versus Jetta is just like really good. Which is why I made my sideboard. Which is why I was like, the card text, I need you to make the optimal line so that I can test the card text.
Don't worry, your card text works.
And it works.
Figured it out.
And it works. And so like when we played versus Rando, I didn't remind you of anything because I wanted to test the player. I wanted to figure out if I could figure out the lines. I couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, you suck.
Yeah, honestly.
Well, plus, he was using, not real cards, so you
That
can't
doesn't-
remind
that doesn't-
him
that doesn't
to
matter.
use enhance.
Right, that's fair. I have fuck me. I have no idea what
God damn it, Michael.
I have no idea what any of your cards do, so there's that.
I would have did
But
it.
I
You wouldn't
think-
have been upset though.
I think that's the difference between playing optimally and playing suboptimally on purpose. I think you no.
It's like the way you did it made it seem sarcastic.
The air quote.
You were like on purpose.
so your decision line as a player whenever you play, and I'm going to use the quotes again, suboptimally is not, hey, I know that this line should work, but what happens if I didn't have those cards, right? What happens when they got fatality'd? Can I sculpt a different kill turn so that you can pick that kill turn as the Goro player, which I think is very cool, good testing for Goro of what's a different line? Is there another route I can take for the kill? Is this one's obvious, right? But if I know they play a bunch of throw hate, this isn't the right route. I see a bunch of high blocks in their discard pile. Well, instead of picking up Dark Cherry Toe at the end, I'm gonna pick up
A grip of Shokin grabs.
a grip of Shokin grabs. I'll pick up that Black Dog's Fang. I'll pick up these different choices. And so the I'm a robot. The optimal play is one
XYZ.
Coffee Samba, double Swallow Your Soul,
and a
Dark Cherry Toe. Those are the best 4 cards you can pick up. Coffee Samba. I'll draw 2, stun you out. Cool, you didn't do anything. 4 damage. You had to block that. Rad. Soul, Cherry Toe. I did it. That's just the best 4 cards you could pick up. Unless.
They're not there.
Thank you. You have to pick a different line. I
And
think
so-
I think it's a fine topic.
And so like that's why I think like if those cards are in his discard pile and he doesn't pick them up, personally you can take it as a loss and then just accept the free knowledge that he's giving you.
Yeah, I think
He's allowing you to play the game longer, and he's also working on himself. It's a little greedy. I will give him that he chooses to pick up something else, but
which is why
he wants the knowledge.
communication matters. Hey, what are you trying to test right now?
I want you to know half the time I don't even realize I'm doing it anymore.
And so this is the detrimental part, right? This is where it becomes detrimental, not to
Like
us,
I still gain the information.
not to us, but to you. This is where you get fucked up because you haven't grilled the right line, so that when the bread and butter happens, you start missing shit
I only do it in
when it matters.
small play. I don't do it. I don't do it in tournament.
I love you to death. That's actually incorrect.
It is not.
I love you.
Don't you
I
dare
love
bring
you.
a secret
No,
stash.
I'm not.
Right.
I'm not. I'm
He
actually,
was going to, and that's why I stopped.
I'm actually
Anyways.
talking about this past Worlds where I sat down and watched you play against. I believe it was.
Depends on the match.
How are you guys doing?
It was some deck where they actually ended up topping. I think it was Johnny Cage.
Was this a Johnny Cage match?
Yeah, I think it was Johnny Cage, and you were like, at the very end of your enhance, you went, "Oh shit, I forgot to do that." Oh well, and I'm just like,
Oh.
what the fuck, James? That's that like it.
Like,
How does your Ghost Thief not blow something up? Like how does it?
I just like
how does
that
it-
one. That one's I never used Ghost Thief the entire match ever.
Sure.
Because I never put somebody in that situation where Ghost Thief is the optimal play.
Do you know why?
Because
we
Ghost
didn't
Thief
test
didn't.
enough.
Because I never tested that deck at all.
Right.
That deck actually had 0 testing.
Right.
I didn't test the deck at all.
That's what
The
I'm
worst
saying.
part is I played against the other 2 builds, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna go home. He's like, it's all right. I didn't want to play the 3rd one anyways. And then next week takes it.
It's all right.
Hey, I still think that deck was cool. If I drew attacks, I killed 3 different matches where I lost.
You don't have to stroke your dick.
I'm not.
It sounds like you are.
That deck was really cool.
I just think that it is, as your teammate, it is detrimental for you to constantly only flex this creative muscle as opposed to truly testing the card text of your deck.
I don't do it. Did I do it during when we were in Rockford? Do you think?
I don't know. Our match was only 9 minutes.
Yeah.
Well,
no.
so
that
what
one,
I'm, what I'm
was
saying
also
is,
a rough match.
what I'm
for
saying
me.
is you are in the headspace to exclusively stretch this creative muscle as opposed to working both. That's what I'm saying. Is you don't do enough of tonight. I'm just gonna beat your guys' asses. I'm gonna play.
I do
perfect.
that every Sunday.
I actually disagree.
I
Like,
super disagree.
Yeah.
What?
well,
Please,
you know,
James.
Why don't you show up to a Sunday fun day?
Please take a match off me and we can talk.
Are you talking to me?
No, I'm talking to this
He's
dude.
talking to me
Oh,
because
are you disagreeing with him or disagreeing with me? I'm confused now.
You've won the last 3 Sunday fun days.
Oh,
so,
okay,
I mean,
cool.
He can't talk
Tan's
about Sundays.
okay.
I got D&D. I got important adult stuff to do. My name's Tam. Look at me.
Hey, so to put it in perspective,
please. I would love some perspective.
James, I just wish you would play every match with everyone that you play against in this house like you were trying to get first place at Worlds. I just wish you would.
I am.
But you don't. You really don't.
But I do. Getting first place isn't all about that perfect knowledge.
So
The person who's
can I? Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
I was gonna make a martial arts reference that's not gonna work. So
Oh,
you're okay.
please.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I'll let
I
you.
would love to. I would love to hear it.
We would love to hear
I was
your
gonna make
martial.
like a sports reference of somebody who is like in the certain knowledge of knowing exactly how to do something is never gonna know how to beat someone who doesn't know what they're doing.
Absolutely, you're 100% right. But the same person that
Yeah.
plays the sport still fucking goes and runs.
Yeah.
They still throw the ball.
I'm still playing a deck.
They still throw the ball perfectly every single time. Right.
Yeah, and I'm still playing my deck.
Asterisks as a sports fan. Anyways.
So they do their
Oh, yeah,
best,
yeah,
here,
you're
right?
good, you're good, you're
They
good.
are when
good.
I'll bring in the martial arts reference when I want to make my roundhouse kick really good. I don't practice wonky ways to do a roundhouse kick. I practice my fucking roundhouse kick and
Yeah.
I make it perfect. And then once I'm
But somebody who doesn't do roundhouse kicks doesn't practice roundhouse kicks.
100%.
Like more of the sports, more of the sports reference I was gonna.
They practice punches because that's what they do.
Yeah.
And I want you to practice, and their
That's the
punch is
reference- That's the
perfect.
reference I was gonna make was like when someone plays like a different position in sports, like
Mhm.
a punter's gonna practice punting.
Mm-hmm.
He has no reason to practice throwing a ball.
Totally.
Unless like just the small random amounts of time.
So the issue that I have there would be that we are if your deck is so specialized that you have to go in and quote punt everything, or you have to go you have to go in and you are exclusively a running back, like that's all you do, then you're not even going to get there because that is a team-based sport, right?
Yeah.
So
I was gonna continue it into.
your deck is then too narrow focused, and then it doesn't matter what you do, you're just going to lose.
I was gonna go more into the fact of I was gonna say like now the punter goes in and he practices throwing, so he has a secondary option.
Totally.
'Cause- So they can run trick plays.
Yeah.
But
so
he still practices his punts.
here's
He
what
still shows up to practice.
Here's what I'd like for you to do then. You ready?
Want
Me
to
and
beat your ass?
Travis want you to work on your cardio.
Yep. Run
I went
more.
to the park.
Who cares? Who cares about the specialty stuff? Who cares about all the flavor? I know you do, and we love you. And you're a valued member of the team because of it. But your cardio blows.
I'm a
But
flavor guy.
your actual playing of the game is significantly worse because you're
I don't
doing
think so.
as somebody who watches you play the game, as somebody who's not inside your head and watches you play suboptimally when you accidentally want to, right? When you
Sometimes it's not
when you're like,
accidental.
"Hey, I need to win the game." Oh, whoops, I missed a bunch of enhances. Can I you ready?
Okay, I'm waiting.
So we have now recorded.
Oh, and it's funny that you talk about all these misenhances because whenever I play against James, it's literally he has like a checklist in his hand. Okay, I did this, I did this, I did this, I did this, I did this.
That's never the case
okay.
against me.
Yeah, you're dead. No, literally every single time
Now,
I play against
are
James.
you talking about Goro? Or are you talking
Goro's-
about
No, Eugenia. Like when we filmed Campus
Like, I'll
Championship,
ask you-
it's
I'll
literally.
I always ask
"Did I do
again,
this?
hey, did I do this?
Did I do this?
Did I do this?
And here's
Because
where
I'm trying to also remember.
But sorry for the tangent. Sorry.
so I'm actually saying the exact opposite of what you're
I know,
saying.
I know. I
When
get
I go
special
back
treatment.
And I watch the campus championships, I go, yeah, you could have done that instead, and this would have been a way different game. You haven't made it out of first round pools.
Yeah, I did. Mishka was in finals.
Yeah, you didn't do that.
That is true.
I definitely.
You got game 1 or match 1. I got match 2.
Yeah, then you lost
What?
match 3.
Yeah, he got out of the finals or out of the first round.
But what?
Yeah.
Okay, sick. We've done
Someone did.
3 of these, and one of your decks has made it out. Good job, man.
Yeah. Do you know? I want you to know every single time we've done this,
Mhm.
I have faced off against the worst possible matchup for me.
But that
okay.
shouldn't matter. If your core UniVersus was just playing better, you would have won. Is what I'm saying.
Adapt,
think
improvise,
that-
overcome.
I think that's a dumb thing. Tap to improvise overcome. Can't always do that.
I understand that you can't always do that. It's a card game. There's
Yeah.
luck.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is as opposed to doing the cool
There's a reason
thing,
we're all anti-starch here. Apparently.
as opposed to doing a cool thing, you could have done the right thing and won, and then continued to play later to do more cool things.
But then I didn't get to do the cool thing then.
I appreciate you not picking up 3 Swallow Your Souls and Dark Cheeritos every single time we play because I know I'm dead to those.
Well, I just want him to kill me. If he has it, just fucking kill me, James.
Well then,
Yeah, but that's no fun
then
for
at
me
that
either.
point you should look at your discard. You should look at his discard pile before you pass your turn, and you should just pick up your cards then.
Yeah, at that point, why let me play the game? Because like I have no fun killing you.
Because
just because it's easy.
I want you to try. There's a chance that you don't. So I want you to try.
Even if
Yeah, but that's not fun for me.
even if the
Why would I want to pick
if
up
we're-
the same
Dang.
four?
If we're practicing for an event,
So here's where we then get the argument then is it more important to have fun or be the best? That's the question.
Do you
That's
want
the,
to be? Do you want to be Red or do you want to be Ash Ketchum?
that's the question.
Oh, I'm Ash Ketchum all the way. I'm taking that Bulbasaur into battle versus a Charizard. Let's go. Oh, we're going to face Blaine at the top of the volcano. I should bring water Pokemon. Nah, I'll take Charizard.
I'll leave Squirtle at home.
Is my
Charizard, come home, please. We need to fight a Magmar. Hurry, seismic toss it. Use a not stab move.
Anywho, next week will be the Pokemon podcast. This week,
On UniVersus.
yeah.
TV show.
Yeah, thank you everybody for watching. This has been an intervention by TCGU Anonymous. Thanks for watching, everybody.
does UU matter? How hype is the set?
This set
it
matters
crazy?
a lot. Like a lot.
It's the next Bebop.
I agree with that statement.
Yep.
But now the question is are people going to focus on? I think the real question is if people are going to focus on the characters and playing those cards, or is everyone just going to leave the characters aside and take all of the other cards and then put them in older decks and revamp older decks?
So
Do you think this set's better than Bebop?
No.
I think-
I didn't.
I think it's on par.
I
I
didn't
think
get to
it's
play.
That's fair.
so. Honestly, I think the set is insane.
I think it's on par with Bebop.
I think it's on par, but it has that just one little nudge enough that it feels like it's going to topple the meta the same way like Cowboy Bebop did.
So you think that like
I don't think it's going to topple the meta. I think it has that feel to it the same way like people the entire time were, why would I play anything but Bebop? Why would
So
I do
you
that?
think it's as you
I
think?
think it's as numbing to the player base.
Why would I play anything that's not a UU character?
Yeah. Why would I not play Kuwabara instead of this Earth character or this good character or this X character?
Water.
Why would I play whatever. Why wouldn't I just play Rando instead of playing Scorpion or playing this or playing that? Rando has evil. He has all that cool stuff he can do with Desperation too.
Mhm.
Why would I play Chaos is good now. I love Chaos. Why wouldn't I just play Hiei over everything else?
Okay.
It has Void. Why wouldn't I play Void over everything else? Like it just
Yeah, why would I play Siegfried when I could play Byakuya?
like it just has that feel to it.
Okay. So
It's not that it's like better or stronger or anything. It's that new feel, and it has that just different nudge because of the new set and not a lot of knowledge that it pushes people the same way Cowboy Bebop did.
So do you suggest, like, for anybody new jumping in, Travis, to like just double down on this set, just get as much of this set as possible, and you'll just like go play
I think they
kitchen
should
table
get
and competitively?
I think they should get as much of this set as possible, but not because of the fact that this set is so going to push the other sets out, because I think the reason why Bebop pushed the other sets out was because the other sets fucking sucked.
That's
What?
not true.
They were not good. There is
That's not
There-
true. It's a power
James.
shift. You can't change.
It was way better.
Cards.
it
It was just better.
It was
They're
so
different power
good.
level.
It was so good that it made the other sets worse by comparison. That's
Yeah.
what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
And
see
I
that.
don't think Yu Yu Hakusho does that to sets like Street
Oh,
Fighter
no, I
versus
actually think Yu Yu
Darkstalkers.
Hakusho, again, like I said, I've been saying it for like the last 2.5 weeks on podcasts or whatever in videos, that I think Yu Yu Hakusho basically makes almost every single character like a C tier character.
Yeah, I
Like, it
think
just
it actually had the opposite effect of Bebop, where it's giving new life to characters instead of pushing them out. So like Bebop was like, "Get out of here! This is our town now." Compared to Yu Yu Hakusho,
Yeah.
like-
welcome to
beat it.
Bebop.
yeah, where Yu Yu's all like, "Yeah, you can come in. Welcome to our settlement. Have fun. Enjoy your stay. Make yourself at
Welcome
home."
to Catan.
Man,
Now give me your sheep.
man, I'm just not good. I'm not good enough. Actually, play for Spirit Shotgun. There
You're
you go.
good
Have
enough.
fun.
Have fun,
Oh,
guys.
is your character only once per turn? Here, play a rando spirit.
It's like,
My opponent keeps playing all these dumb foundations. Blow them up and draw a card. Who gives a shit?
Why
but-
would I put my attacks in momentum? I'll never get them back. Ooh,
I'll
dark
just build it,
terminal wounds.
or I'll
And
build
then
it face.
draw a
I'll
card.
put it face down as a foundation.
I'm Hiei. I'll just get them back anyways.
But yeah, so that's why I was talking about was if like the characters versus just the regular everything else from the set and like what it's gonna do. And I do think that it brings like a lot of life to like new or not new but older decks.
Mhm.
I do think that almost anything from Endines is unplayable, and I think that Battle for Power is literally on the cusp of being unplayable outside of two characters.
Which are?
Which is, I think, well, obviously base,
Mm-hmm.
and then I think he could be cool. I think a Nightman could be cool.
Nightman definitely won a Premier Store event, which is like the next level up from a locals. So he went from like a D tier tournament, and he won a C tier tournament because he can give damage to Dragon Tongue.
Yeah.
Because his damage pumps a form.
so
Hey, I'm gonna stick that 6 difficulty in your card pool. My next tech's gonna get +6 damage. Dragon Tongue, blow everything up. This is for a bunch.
Take it.
Take
Yeah.
it, nerd.
So, I think that on the topic of Battle for Power, I actually think the best character from that set is, and probably forever will be, Yamato Man. Because, like, he just got something pretty huge in Rando Spirit Gun and his other 5-diff, the Throw.
Why is rando spirit gun good at him?
Life Force Thread.
It is a 10 for 9. Like, it is a 10 for 9 that commits something. And that's not with Throw It Down. That's not after playing a Life Force thread. That is before any other pumps. I was watching Mark play this deck at locals, and it just kills people.
Yeah.
Like, it plays the way Yamato Man should play and just kills people.
Also realize something with this new set. People are gonna have to learn how to block.
Yeah.
yeah, like I look at these attacks and he's telling me like people die and I just don't get it. I'm just like, why weren't they playing Speed Hate?
Yeah.
Like I see people like not playing 4 Fei-Feis and it's like a free card. Why would you not do it? Face of a monster. Why would you not pay life to negate speed on that? Like there's so many good Speed Hate that no one plays because they don't want to play it. Because, oh, why would I need that? I have foundations. I'll just block
I'll
it.
just kill them.
So
Yeah,
like,
like it
the thing is,
People just got to learn how to block.
if it's an enhance in the case that I mentioned, Yamato Man just commits it. Like if it's a Fei-Fei, he just says no.
You know, unless he just kind of just Celestial being
Celestial Being doesn't cancel
It's a
character.
cancels commits.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
You
That's
can't-
fine.
You can't commit.
I mean, you can't even play those 2 cards under the same symbol, can you?
I have no idea. I don't even care. I'm just saying there is hate that stops.
Yeah, but I'm saying for the card that you referenced, that card doesn't exist. Like there is
Why? You just get to.
nothing that deals with that besides God of Thunder, but then it doesn't matter because that means you already had something else committed, so Yamato Man couldn't commit it anyways.
Yeah, Sense of Morals got banned.
Sure, it has all. Cool.
Like it,
I
I just don't get it because I'm like.
totally get what you're
people just need to
saying.
learn how to block.
I'm playing 4 of a card that says discard a momentum -5 speed because
Yeah.
it's so fucking important.
You're playing a card that says if this shares 3 symbols with my character, I block it on a 0.
Yeah.
It's actually 2 or more.
Yeah.
That
oh my
card
God, that
is
card's
nuts. The card is nuts.
That
Yeah.
any character on those 3 symbols can play that, and that's a free block.
Well, it's the best common foundation.
Yeah.
I swear.
Like
I
has no block on it.
Dude,
Who
it's
cares?
so
You're
good.
using it to block something else.
So good. And it readies
Discard a
itself.
momentum
Nightmare
ready itself.
Terrors,
It readies itself.
You got Kieran Soul. You have Know Your Objective, Fei-Fei. You have a bunch of Speed Hate, and no one plays it for no reason.
Which is why I almost contemplated on playing Death.
Like, it's just
so much speed.
it's
Hate.
so-
You block forever.
it's
Yeah.
so weird. Like, there's like so many cards that like I've talked about this too. Where like I have a giant list of cards in my head that I haven't put on paper that just no one plays that are just extremely good and no one plays them.
Will you put them on paper for me? We can
Sure.
put them out on Patreon.
Sure,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
fine with that.
Write a
There's
little
just
article.
An entire
I love
list
that.
of cards that just no one touches.
You should sort them by symbol.
Okay,
I love it.
sure, sounds fine.
Cool.
There's just I'm just saying there's an entire list of cards that just no one touches. Like everyone hates Dejanette. Ancestral Quiver stops it. No one plays that.
Yeah,
It's a decent card.
Very rare, yeah.
Hates on everything. Jeddah can't touch. Jeddah just I'll discard all your momentum. I'll burn you if you block. I'll do all this. You get to do a bunch of cool stuff. I'll stun your entire board. Like you get to do a bunch of cool stuff. You get Clash of Colossals stops Dejanette. No one plays that card because oh no, my character has to be committed. Well, I mean, it's either that or Dejanette just says you never play a card. I mean, you can weigh your 2 options. I'm okay with that. Go ahead.
I'm super down. I would love for you to
This will be on like the shit James says show.
Yeah, I'm super down. That sounds really, really rad.
I forgot the theme song for that. We had a theme song ready. I can't remember.
I'm gonna bring this podcast to a close. We've been recording for like almost an hour and 15. Thank you guys for being on the podcast.
I guess.
This was super fun. This was fun.
I guess
I felt a little lost, and I found my way
I felt
back.
targeted a lot.
Did you?
I came here to have fun.
Did you feel targeted at all?
no.
Okay, good. I was a little worried when I came up with the topic in the middle of the week.
So I don't know. It's just I don't feel targeted. It's more that I just like don't care. Like
Welcome to the club.
it's like if I did feel targeted, there's no reason for me to feel that way because you're coming from a good place.
Yeah.
You're not trying to actively, oh, Travis, you're a shitty player. You need to figure out what you're doing now.
It's because you're
That'll
a
be
shitty player. You should
next
figure out what
week.
you're gonna do now.
I'm actually from South Omaha, so I
That-
do come from a bad place.
That'll be next week. Whenever you still don't know what you're playing. Don't worry.
That one will be a targeting
Yeah.
podcast. We're gonna have him make you wear a Target shirt. We're gonna have a giant bullseye and everything.
So with that, thank you very much for. Did you have one?
Oh, yeah. I also never feel targeted, so
Yeah?
I also enjoy that.
Nice.
Yeah, Air 5.
Thank you very much for watching the podcast. Like I said at the top of the show, if you like the content, please go to patreon.com/TCGU to get it a whole week early. So with that, from all of us here at TCGU, stay learned.
Get learned.
Ben learned.
Goodbye. Mic drop.
I have to build an Alice deck.
And stay classy, San Diego.
Stay classy, son.